can't even tell you how excited I am. I've had to have Corey restart this video like 6 times because I'm just literally over the moon. I knew about this bike like 6 years ago. All I did about back then is peek open the corner of it to see if it was really there, and it is. It's been in his box this whole time. The owner and I have become really close over the last, like I said, 5 or 6 years. He just sold us this today, so we can finally have a dyno. The rest of the pieces are inside the hangar. But this bike, I kind of thought he'd never sell because it's that special. It is VIN number 1, chassis number 1. It is 0 miles. I swear to you, I have not opened this yet. Corey, help me pry it. Corey, am I telling the truth? Have we looked inside yet?
Not yet.
I have never seen this bike in person. It's worth the wait. Hang on, it's coming. I don't have anybody here today. It's closed. There's a lid. And here it is. This was the flagship show bike for Honda, showcasing the NSR500 V2. That's why it's chassis number 1. That's why it has 0 miles on it. This bike has never been ridden. It's never been started. It is a NSR500. And you know what? I'll tell you what, if you could peek, actually the plastic's on there pretty good, but you can see the Kevlar exhaust. That's actually OEM HRC. When it comes to 2-strokes, I don't necessarily know if it gets any better than this. We've had some really cool Providence race bikes, but we've never had a brand new one. Look at this intake here. Do you see that? See that, Corey? This the Kevlar intake, if you can see it with the camera. And down there, the forks are, I'm sorry, the rotors are the carbon rotors. That's it. This is it. So this bike will go into the service department. We're gonna pull it out of the crate. We're gonna polish all up. He said there's a bit of a pressure dent on the tank somewhere from just sitting in storage for so long, because these tanks are really thin from the factory. They're just, you know, it's just an ultimate race bike. But it's got silica packets in the bottom of the crate, which was keeping it dry all these years. I can't believe this bike exists. I can't believe this bike is here. I'm so thank you to the owner for choosing Iconic Motorbikes. We're talking about displaying it here for a while before it goes on the auction site. But we do have some clients that knew this bike was possibly available, and they might buy it before that. But anyway, can I take the camera from me for a second? Let me just show a couple little things really quick. I know Corey was already showing you, but like I said, there's that Kevlar exhaust I was talking about. The chain looks nice and gold still, which means it's, it probably doesn't have any rust anywhere. It was kept in a really dry environment. That cool tank. This bike is a purpose-built bike. There is just no... We've had some really crazy bikes. I mean, even 2-strokes. We had a Suter MMX 500. We actually sold that bike twice, but this is something pretty magical, huh?
Completely.
I can't wait to see it outside the box too. So watch for it next week. We'll do some footage of it coming out of the crate. We'll do some footage of it on Olly's lift, because I'm sure Olly's going to be jazzed to see it. Thank you for helping me today.
You're welcome.
That was really awesome, man. I know we're closed. That was really meant a lot. Corey runs Iconic Transport for us. There it is. This is the bike I've been waiting for. What a day.
That was good.
Here you go, Abby. You ready?
Yeah, well, ready for what? It's my bike. No one gets to see this.
I showed this off yesterday. This is the first production NSR500V.
Oh my God.
Chassis number 1. Never used, never ridden. I've had a lot of people on social media say, don't uncrate the bike. But the owner of the bike said, it's up to me. And here's the thing, this is not, if you would have bought one brand new, that's not the crate it would have came in. The gentleman has owned it, he's owned it for over 20 years, but he had HRC recrate it after they did all the press stuff and sent it to him. Craziest part about the story, Abby, it stayed in the crate 20 years.
Yeah, that's insane.
The gentleman that owns it, he has some really special bikes of his own. He rides a lot, he hits the track, he's quite fast. Huge 2-stroke fan. In fact, he doesn't even like 4-strokes. But he just got too busy with life, and it just sat in his crate this whole time. We're gonna change that though. So today we're gonna pull this bike out. Again, production number 1, NSR500 2-stroke. One of the most important bikes, in my eyes anyway, when it comes to sport bikes, especially race bikes. And if you're an HRC fan, you gotta love this. So we're gonna do it. It's got enough dollies. We're gonna roll this up here next to all these beautiful Desmos Adichis and get it some fresh air. And look, I can't even talk. I'm so excited. It's about time this bike comes out of this box. What do you guys think? Got half a team up here right now, helping, or a third of the team, I should say. Olly, how long did you work on this? This 4 years, 1998 to 2000. What team were you with? DC Racing. And it was the same thing? And where was that at? Just team. So it's only fitting through here. It is, yeah. Experience, right? For the moment. If I still drink beer, I'd be having a beer right now. All right, boys, let's do it. Come on, team effort. Watch these nails, everybody. These nails. Let's watch the nails. All right, over there, let's get that crate, that panel off. A bunch of Desmos Adichis. That's not going to help us. Actually, can you get that pry bar real quick, Angel? Give her a couple pops there. Oh yeah, take it there, it'll help. Alright, don't get that one. One more time.
I know, I can't get the pool.
Perfect. Let's go this way. All right, it's worth the suspense, everybody. Let's go. Drop the down. Nobody sit back.
That would be my job, actually.
Pull the plastic off. Olly, hey, you know what? You work on this bike. You get the unveiling.
There you go.
Look at this. NS.
Come on this side, Rip, with the thing with that swing arm right thing.
NSR500V, packed by HRC 20 plus years ago. We just unwrapped it. Look at this. Look at these rotors. Look at that. Carbon rotors. There it is right there. What's that? Oh, what is it? Oh my gosh, look at that. That's cool. That's an interesting place for a VIN number, huh? Yeah. Oh, they're like, yeah, that's good enough. All right. Are we rolling it out? All right. This one just dropped right under. I got this one. Ramp, everybody. Actually, I say we lift it. The foam is like stuck to the grip. It's been 20 years. Careful, everybody. All right. This one you probably just unwrap it. I unwrapped mine. Did you unwrap it? Okay.
Yeah, we gotta pry it.
What else you got?
The board that's holding the.
Can we lift it, or is it?
Where's the
can we
pry
lift
bar?
it straight up?
No, the stand is the fastest space.
Yeah.
They have the used screws back. I'm working on the nails. Everything's nailed in.
I'll be do that if you want. We can sit here all day and watch them try to get. This is worth it. This is a moment. We're gonna string all these videos together, put them on our YouTube channel. Please make sure you subscribe to our channel. It really helps us a lot. At Iconic Motorbikes. There we go. Okay. What's the how do you want to do it? You're the big professional racer.
Forward, no? Forward, right?
Yeah.
Roll it forward, we can get the rear stand out. Yep.
I like the backdrop. Isn't that cool?
We don't hit the fair end.
We'll pick it up. All right. All right, pull the stand up.
Hold on.
All right.
Great.
Oh,
Yep. Stand. Put it under there.
all right. There you go. So He did mention in the when I was talking to him that the tank had a little compression thing just from something being parked on it for too long when it was on display. Someone probably laying on it. That might come up back up. Ollie, the only way to end this video is you sitting on it.
I've actually rode one of these.
Did you really?
Almeria 2000.
Can you get on this side, Riv?
Yep.
This is like this is the beauty shot. Ollie's right side is better than his left side.
I don't know about that.
Look at that. Golly.
He's got that aerodynamic help too.
There you go. Hey, by the way, if it's not fitting, this is just in case you haven't been paying attention to Iconic recently. This is the same gentleman that won the two-stroke event at Barber.
We should take this picture.
Yeah, there you go.
It's not for sale. We're keeping it.
This is, yeah. So this is going on the auction site. We think we've got a couple of clients asking about it pre-auction. Some of our members, if you're an Iconic member or a shareholder, you obviously have that right. But the owner is talking about just putting on the auction. So let's figure out what he wants to do about this though. It's definitely, yeah. How cool is that? Chassis number 1, never ridden. Sat on by Ollie, has value.
Look what he did. Look what Ollie did.
Exactly. Old people. Big balls.
Don't touch that. You better go wash your hands.
It's ruined the seat.
I'll just wipe it.
Did you see the intake here? Isn't this cool?
Ruined the seat.
The Kevlar intake and. All right, so we got, gentlemen, thank you so much for helping. Now, get back to work.
See the notes up there now?
Heavy.
You didn't waste any time. Nope. I brought the NSR500V downstairs last night. The owner said to go ahead and pull it apart, make sure it's ready to go. And I had it out here behind Ollie's bench so he could start on it early because he works the early shift. I gotta tell you, man, there's really not much to it, is there? Like in all grand scheme of things, like it really is. If you don't know what an NSR500V is, you should. Ollie, you worked for a French team.
No, Dutch.
I'm sorry, gosh, trying to keep saying it. A Dutch team for how long?
5 years, but 4 years on one of these. So 1998, 1990, 2001. But the problem was in 97, it was leaded gas. This Barros had a production 500V twin. He got third at Donington Park on a production bike. Production V-twin in 97, 98 it went to unleaded gas, and it, for the big piston it was a disaster, and their performance was never as good as it should have been if we were able to run leaded gas, and the bike wasn't as competitive with that gas. Even the 4-cylinder struggled with it to begin with. I think doing C's at Suzuka, which is unheard of with a 4-cylinder, but eventually they got them to run properly, but that was the biggest problem. It's changed the fuel. The gearboxes weren't that great either. But,
And on the first gen, okay, so real quick, so let me just catch the people up a little bit. So this is the 0 mile press bike for
like
Honda.
1996 actually. 97 was the first year it was put in production. In 96 they took it to a lot of the events and said this is what we're going to do for privateers for 97 moving forward.
And what we've done through research and this livery and all the press stuff, because this was the press bike.
This was the press bike,
We've
yeah.
since determined, at least we're quite sure it's a 2000 or 2001 is what we're hearing now. So everyone's kind of coming back as a 2000, 2001, which could be a good thing for a buyer because they fixed the transmission issues by then.
It worked, yeah.
But we're still trying to make sure. The owner isn't 100% sure. He's owned it for 20 years. He left it in a crate. As I said on Pat prior posts, it definitely looks like it's never been used. Huh? The
Yeah,
fins
really,
are all
yeah.
perfect. And you can kind of tell, usually you'll see rock pits and things like that. Rotors look unused, right? Wheels don't look like they had any tire changes at all. Did you see any dates on the tires? That would help us determine too what year the bike is. Does it say? There is the number, right? So NSR500V F-K001. So which again confirms it's the first one.
So I thought it was one out in 96 but you don't think that's this one?
Not anymore, no. After some research, and we had a gentleman that owns a couple of them reach out to us from Europe, and he said
This is the later one.
it's a later one, and in all the press materials we've had so far, which is exactly this bike. It's specifically this one. You can sell the livery and everything else. It is the one that went around and did the tour for HRC.
Yeah.
But this livery was on that 2001.
Yeah, which
Or
is
2000.
last year.
So that would have been, it's a good thing. What we heard yesterday was we need to look at the engine number. And so now we can finally see that. What do we see? K. Yeah, you know what? This confirms it because he said yesterday NSR500VE is what we should say. K and then 0, which I believe is 2000. I think that's how that reads, but we'll double check.
Yep.
So again, I mean, it's still a very important bike because it's never been used. It's essentially brand new. If we could find a date code on our tires, that would help too. So we'll have to look at that some more. That Kevlar airbox. See that HRC logo on the car, which is really neat. Just kind of looking at it at the same time I'm videoing. Oh, I got to show this off really quick. So here's the fuel tank, right? And this is down a little bit, is kind of dented in a little bit, and it's more than likely because someone was sitting on it and put their hand. You need to understand how light this is. Like, I'm literally picking it up with my thumb. I mean, have you tried this yet?
No, I haven't.
It's insane. In all my life, I've seen carbon fiber tanks, I've seen Kevlar tanks, but
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's magnesium.
isn't that insane? And that's with the petcock on it.
Foil.
It's magnesium peg.
Yeah, so this metal is super thin, and again, it could have just been someone sitting on it and put it in their hand. We've talked to a dent puller guy, like a car specialist, and he just said, I can't do that. That metal is way too thin. And if you put your finger in here and you open this up, you can kind of pull it back and forth. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you just got to understand, like, I've never experienced anything that light before as far as tanks go. Is that what's the swing arm made of?
It's aluminium. This is magnesium water.
Okay. And magnesium fork bottoms probably, right? More than likely.
Sure, carbon rotor, probably aluminium. The workspace was magnesium.
I'll tell you, everything points to what we believe it being 0 mile. I mean, like I said, the guy had it in a crate for 21 years, so it hasn't been used. Dry clutch. It's just so simplistic. And you were telling me a couple days ago this is a pulse counter. Is that?
Yeah, detonation counter. So
Okay.
you get so many detonations per kilometer to optimize carburation.
And you can. Is it,
They come in. I mean, mostly bikes afterwards would have data acquisition, so it'd be connected into the data acquisition. But it's just a simple reader that you can look at. And a lot of the people used to put them up here on the small bikes, but the riders freaked out because if it's too lean, then it'll detonate too much, and then you run the risk of seizure as well. So sometimes it's not a good idea to have it there. But
I'll tell you, you know a lot more about these bikes than most of us. Look at this, just the work. It's so refined. Do we know what the AO2 means? Because the AO2 is here, and then if you look at the nose of the fairing, I saw it on the inside, on the lower as well. So maybe that was just there it is there. Oh, actually, I beg your pardon, not the A19. Maybe that's some sort of a production code or something. Okay, so we're gonna look some more. If anyone that follows us knows exactly, again, we've got some Honda people following us. There's the engine number. We'll reflect one more time back to. Yeah, I mean, I tell you, that's something else, isn't it?
You got to clamp to the list so it doesn't take off and fly away.
It's so light. I know, right? It's got all these cool things like Honda Racing on the wheels, obviously magnesium wheels. Okay, that's it for now. What the plan with it is, the owner said go ahead and clean it up, go through it, fix a couple things. Like you said, the rear brake needs some attention.
yeah, and the front brake as well.
And the front brake is just missing, it's just a clipper or something like that is bad. So we'll do that. We are not going to start the bike though. That is not the plan. The gentleman that owns the bike has a massive, and I mean literally like probably a container, half container full of spares. It's not included in the sale, but the bright side is someone buys a bike and they say, hey, you know what, there's an issue. He's got every single thing to rebuild this bike. Yep. In fact, probably 2. So, great way to start the day.
Yep.
Thank you, sir. We'll put this on YouTube as well, because it's kind of long for social, but I figured people want to see it, and we'll probably pop up another one later. Thanks, pal.